Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here and sit down. Grab yourself something hot or cold to drink. Let's open our Bibles up today to Psalm 17. Psalm 17 is it's one of those psalms that it has a handshake with another psalm. Psalm 17, you really can't read Psalm 17 unless you also read Psalm 18 because they really go together. Psalm 17 is the prayer. Psalm 18 is the song of praise because the prayer was answered. And we'll get into Psalm 18 next week. Actually, we're going to be in Psalm 18 for about a month because it is so long. It's like 50 verses, and I'm going to, because this is, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. I'm going to take it verse by verse, and it's going to take us a little while to get through it. It'll take us about 5 weeks to get all the way through Psalm 18. But Psalm 18 is a very important psalm. Just as Psalms 9 and 10 were important for us for the definition of the wicked man, so Psalm 18 is a seminal psalm because it tells us about David, and the language used in Psalm 18, we find it used throughout the Psalter. This theme of David's that he sets down in Psalm 18 remains a theme that stretches through all of the writers of the Psalms, all the way to Psalm 150. So it's very important. Now, I'm supposed to be teaching you about Psalm 17 right now, but look forward to Psalm 18 because it is that significant. Okay, so Psalm 17. If you have your Bible today, why don't you open to Psalm 17. We're going to look at verses 4, 5, and 6 today. If you don't have your Bible, please allow me to read those for you. So this is Psalm 17 beginning in verse 4. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me. O God, incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. Wow, there's so much here, isn't there? Look at the verse 4. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. The works of men seem to be a problem, don't they? And yes, they are a problem. They're a problem for David. They're a problem for us. And notice that in his prayer, and his prayer begins with an argument of his innocence, he's asking the Lord now, I've kept me from the paths of the destroyer, from the works of men. And then he says, hold up my goings in thy paths, because he knows the temptation is there. The temptation to do according to the works of men, to walk in the path of the destroyer, is a temptation that every man faces. Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. You see, he's already established this visual image in our minds of the path. Well, we don't want our steps to slip off of God's path and to, slide down into the path of the destroyer, which is demonstrated by or revealed to us by the works of men. And then verse 6, we come back to the idea of the prayer again. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. So again, we have this idea of God inclining. Go back up to verse 1. Attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayers. Just like verse 6. You will hear me, incline your ear to me, hear my speech. So again, he's asking for the Lord to hear. And is this a vain asking? No, it's not a vain asking, because we know the Lord does hear us. So David's not saying, I hope, I wish, I want, maybe just kind of, maybe sort of, that God's going to hear me. No, it's not that. He's saying, here's my request. Here's the first part of my request. I'm telling you that I'm coming to you out of what I think is unfeigned mouth, unfeigned lips. Keep me, though, because I'm tempted by the path of the destroyer. Keep me in your path, that my footsteps don't slip, and hear me. Hear me now, because I've humbled myself before you. I've called upon you. You will hear me. See the confidence there. You will hear me. Incline your ear unto me. So he has confidence in his request for God to hear his speech. And we're going to find out that in these verses that, he has quite a request to make. Actually, he continues to make this request of hearing and keeping through 7, 8, and 9. But in 9, we come face to face with the enemy that he is asking God to rescue him from. All right, join me tomorrow, and we'll look at 7, 8, and 9 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.